And here we go. Fantastic. We're live. Alrighty, welcome back. It's been a week. I've been working on another painting and this one. And this is sort of a study in magenta and violet. So I'm going to do the background today. That's what we're going to do. Let's bring up the a big view of the reference photo. There you go. So quite a strong magenta background. And that's going to help me, once I've got the background in, I want to fade these petals here that are sort of in the background. I want to fade them, lose the edges of them. Just keep the ones, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's right. 8 petals that are in the foreground, and just hang on to those for detail. And the pencils that I've been using, a bit of a mixture. Let's see if we can get a shot of the pencils down here. That's the collection. This one here has been sort of the main one, a carbothello, for a bit of hotness. We slip into sort of a hot pink, and I've been using some Derwent's, which is the dark violet. So let's just bring those up into the picture. So these are the sort of 4 primary pastels I've been using, and just starting to bring in this violet here. Tempted to say purple. We'll call it violet. And then back on the down on the desk here is my paint tray, if you like, my palette of pan pastels. So magentas from dark. That should probably be there. It's a shade, and then pure magenta, and then tint. And same with the violets, extra dark, shade, pure, and then the tint. I'm not too sure I'll use those tints. And these are more for, the violets are more for the actual flower. Did I not bring that up? No, there we go, back to here. So the violets I want to bring into the background petals. That's the plan anyway. That's what I'm saying here today. So grab a applicator, which looks massively grubby, so we'll give that a clean first. So the other painting I'm working on, I did say I'm going to do another version of this. So once I've done this flower, decided I want to teach myself how to do flowers. And because I started really with portraits, well, doing people. And so I'm going to do the same flower but on pastel matte, and we'll see. So this currently I'm on Canson paper, a cotton rich paper. It's quite lovely. And I'm on the, so there's 2 sides to this paper. Normally pastelists will use the other side of this paper, which has got sort of like an orange peel that's often how it's described, an orange peel texture. And or you can paint on the other side, but there's not as much tooth on this. So everything I've done on here has been very fine, just very light touches. Might just zoom out, see the whole thing. Right. We'll just crack on, and we're going to go magenta up the top and see what the magenta looks like on this. Right after I fill up on Creative Juice. Here we go. So we'll start with get clean enough. Still got a bit of blue on it. Go the other side. Start with our extra dark. If that's coming out on the camera properly. Yep, it is. So I want to, I just want to keep this light to begin with. So we'll just stain the paper, as it were, rather than get it too thick. And I go right to the, right down to the edge. I'm going to frame it right to the edge anyway, so, or if I decide to frame this one, I probably will, because I have this exhibition coming up in November. Well, it's an arts trail. It's not an exhibition, but I'm trying to sell anyway. So I need some pieces to have on display. So the other piece of art that I'm working on at the moment is an underwater scene of a couple. And I was just thinking yesterday, as I was banging away at this, starting to lay down the foundation for their skin. And it's fairly sizable, so it's the size of this whole backboard. Isn't that interesting? You can see the mark on that paper. I actually had a nightmare that for some reason I had a hose and I was washing down around my desk and the water was splashing onto my artwork. It was just, what a nightmare. But anyway, I can see a mark on there and it looks like a fingerprint. So either myself or someone else in the past has handled this paper with a greasy fingerprint, but that's okay. It'll just become part of the art. I'll just lay in this this background. So anyway, I was telling you that I'd started doing this couple, and because it's a big painting, there's a reasonable amount of skin. I mean, they are dressed, but I mean their arms and faces. And I put down some layers of colour first. So I'm doing a white layer. And I use, at the moment, my favourite pastel white are these French Conte à Paris. Pastel number 13. and they seem to be quite good. And I hadn't really used much of them in the past, so it's nice to get them going. But that working on the skin, it just takes so long. And I was thinking maybe I should just shortcut it and get out the pan pastels, because the beauty of pan pastel is the speed. Using these applicators, I suspect that I may not be right, but I kind of suspect that the inventor of pan pastels, who also invented these applicators, had been looking at a product that came out a number of years ago called speed brushes. And they're for painting your house. And they're a foam pad applicator. Got hairs on it. I don't know what the hairs are made of. But you can get big size or little ones for doing round windows, and you just slop it in the paint and it soaks up the paint, and then very quick compared to using a brush, which is no doubt why they called them speed brushes. But it's certainly a lot faster. Whacking in a background. And this might seem a bit tedious. You're watching paint dry. I'm sorry. But I'll talk about the painting as I'm going, so hopefully you'll get some pointers. What have I found that's been good and bad? I originally intended this painting to be all pan pastel. And what happened was I thought, oh, I'll just do this one petal here. I'll just do this one with pastel pencil, and then the rest with pan pastels. And that way, there'll be just one which is standing out in detail, and the rest will be soft and out of focus. And then what happens, of course, is once I start with pencils, they're very safe. Pastel pencils are very safe to use. And I don't mean like health and safety, but you've just got so much control over them. Let's blend that in. And I find them a real trap, is they'll limit my style. But people might say the same about pan pastels. I don't know. Okay, well, they're too easy. I like easy, actually. But the thing with pan pastels is it's a lot like painting with palette knives. And I love palette knife painting. I love looking at it. I quite enjoy doing it, but I haven't learnt to use oils properly. I should probably learn how to do that. Later. For now, I really enjoy pastels. Pastels work very well for me. I know they're not the most popular medium on YouTube or in the world, actually. They've fallen out of style, and a lot of that's to do with framing. I mean, you can just get a canvas, go to your local art shop, or quite often they sell them in bookshops as well. And you get a canvas, and then you just sell the canvas. Once you've done your painting on it, don't worry about framing it. You just sell the canvas, and people whop the canvas on their wall. But a pastel, you want to protect it from, because it's done on paper, you've got to protect it from humidity and insects. And dust. People putting their fingers on it. Oh man, that's been a real thing. Someone comes along and touches your painting, then you get a big fingerprint. Starting to get some build up around the petals anyway, so that's good. Anyway, it's a shame that pastels aren't, it's like frames have gone out of fashion because it's just cheaper for artists to not frame their paintings. But if you go into an old art gallery, there's something quite special about seeing some of the frames. They're works of art themselves. And I went to an art gallery in my home city. I don't remember when it was. It was last year. I was really excited. So my home city's called Dunedin in New Zealand. It means Edinburgh of the South, because it was founded by Scottish immigrants. And anyway, it's always been quite an arty city. It's got an couple of excellent art galleries. And they had a exhibition there where they were mainly looking at local woman artists from, New Zealand's not that old, 150 or something years. And, it might be a bit older now. Anyway, this local artist, she'd done these pastels, and there they were, 100 years old, and they still looked fantastic. And they were framed behind glass. It looked as fresh as ever. And I was just so excited to see them. Renoir did pastels. He didn't sell them. He gave them to friends. Part of the reason I wanted to do this with Pan Pastel 2, and I'm using, as I've said, I'm using the back of the Canson paper. Now the back is very smooth. We don't have texture on it, so it means got to be careful with your layers. We can't put too much pastel, and there's a real trap with pan pastels that you can load up, fire away, and overload your paper. It's such a annoying fingerprint. I have to think about what am I going to do, how to fix that fingerprint. But the pan pastel also, it's a pure pigment. In effect, it is soaking into this paper, although you can use a eraser, and it will just come off. And the eraser can be used for effects as well. So I've seen it used as waves and highlights and clouds. So the goal is to lose the edges around the flowers, the petals, once they're done. But to lose the edge, I want to pull out, not push in with the background. I want the petal colour to float outwards. That'll be the plan. And the colour paper that I chose is called Moonstone. And to be honest, I wasn't that happy with it, but it was in my pile and I needed to use it up. I'm more inclined to, I mean, Canson papers are part of your painting. So you're going to see the undertone, you know, and the reason you're going to see the undertone of a Canson paper like tientes, which I'm using, versus a sanded paper or a pastel mat, is you can't keep layering up so thickly that you just can't get enough layers on to hide the paper. It's not that type of substrate. So you want to work with your paper if you can, not against it. So a lot of pastelists will pick a tone that's going to work really well for their painting. They'll use it like an underpainting. And it's quite common to see the paper, you know, so they don't fill it in like what I'm doing here. They'll just do like the flower and then you've got the paper left. Well, there are some paintings I'm looking forward to doing like that later, but I'll use black. I'll use a black paper, and we'll just leave the blackness of the paper as the contrast. And it's not a pure black. I really like an inky black rather than a matte, but it is what it is. I think the prints, you know, I'll do some prints of them, and you can adjust those in Photoshop, or I use GIMP, just the photo, and get a much richer looking background. Here's my wife. She's doing some gardening. Yep, got the secateurs. Why have you got secateurs in your studio? Well, the studio's a garage. And a laundry. And a gardening store. Multi-purpose. And it's my office as well. So I'm painting, and just behind the easel is my office, which is nice in the summer and stinking cold in the winter. Especially since, like every other country, New Zealand's electricity's gone through the roof. Heating has become a problem. I blame AI. Data centers. They're also power hungry. Actually, I blame the greedy corporations that own them. That's another story. We'll stick to art. So I thought I'd do a calendar of flowers for next year. I'm hoping to get 12 flowers done this year, and then we'll have a calendar. All right. So I can see lots of the moonstone still showing through. That's okay. We're going to try and darken it up. Darken it up. Oops. Get my picture back. And I think we'll go a bit in key. So we're going to pull in. Use the other side of the applicators, which is, so I've got my red and my blue side, and we're going to pull in this violet. Just going to get it nice and dark. And it will also help because I can go a shade of the violet into these petals. Too far, just about there. Let's map this out a bit. I think about where the lights and shadows are falling on the petals as well. Yeah. Let's get some contrast. It's working. It's quite an interesting paper that very blendable compared to um, pastel matte. Pastel matte, I have to put on layers before I can get to blending. So you've got to get, I have to get quite we'll have a vignette, eh? That's what we'll do. Get a vignette going. Pastel matte, I've really got to get quite a lot of pastel down before it will start to blend. Until then, it just sort of pastel skitters across the paper. Okie dokie. Doing it for me. And of course, with pan pastel, you don't have, you get some dust. It's, there's definitely some dust there, but not like using normal pastels. I mean, even with pastel pencils, you'll get dust. Just not that much. And my mum used to, she still does paint. So she's an artist. and she's actually quite a good pastelist, but she's never really pursued it that much. They're beautiful cats. They were absolutely stunning. Which I think because she loved cats, that really came across in her work. You know, if you love a subject, that's what I like to do. I'm definitely going to get that's going to fix you a bit. Get you darker up here. I like to do people, particularly dancing. I love um, the motion and emotion of dance. And so it comes across in my work. If you're not passionate about your subject, that's like in any job. You know, you see people who are actually really good at customer service. It's because they love people. You know, they like engaging with people. They want to help them. But someone who doesn't like that, it really, you know, that comes across too. Vignette, but I want that lighter up the top. Smoky thing going. A motorbike outside. That's probably just my wife talking to the postie. Okay, so that's that layer. We're gonna do stuff with that, so that's not finished. I just need to take some pastel off my applicator. So we're getting a bit loaded. And I just wipe it on paper towel. Just clean that up. I think we want to get in with, we'll go down a shade. This is the magenta shade. Do some just up the top just to see what it's going to look like. Pure magenta. It's going to work. See a lot of that paper still coming through. There's not much I can do about that. And this is an experiment too, this particular painting. This is an experiment of, you know, doing flowers on. So I did say I wanted to do a bunch of flowers. And I need to know, should I do them on pastel mat, or is it okay to do them on the Canson paper? What's going to work best? And I don't use fixative, so I don't believe in fixative. I think it's, I mean, it exists, so I know I believe in it. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I don't like using it. Um, and effectively, in the end, um, all you're doing is putting a layer of, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's plastic in the end. Whatever it is, it has, over time, it can crumble and come off. So I'd rather just my pastels tell the story. We're going to come down with that shade. And then we'll slap some darker shade on top. Can afford to get some energy into our movements now because we've got an underpainting. So we don't want to go down too far, David. And we also want to sort of mimic the petals, sort of shape of whoever took the photo. So I'm working from a reference photo. Apart from the fact they did a lovely job. And I got this photo from where I get all my photos from, pixels.com. Pixels is great. They've got a wonderful copyright, fair usage. You're allowed to use any photos for any work. Just don't do anything bad to them. Don't use AI. That would be bad. And don't pretend that they're your own. Anyway, the person who took the photo, where was I? They had pulled some sort of gauze behind the flower, and that was quite a clever little technique they used to get the shot they wanted, or the effect of the shot, practical shot they call it in the film business. Seems to be dropping a bit. Stop it. It seems to be sticking to what I want. This I like magentas and violets together. So in a reasonably rapid time, reasonably, building up the background. And all I'm using is magentas and violets from the... I'm not going for a what do they call it? Bokeh. Or if you watch Camera Conspiracies, toner, which is quite a funny thing. It's actually become a bit of a word in the camera community, toner. That blurry background, because there was a photographer who just did such blurry backgrounds. I was like, well, why have a background at all? And so this guy is doing a sort of parody of him. Of course, the photographer's name was Tony, so instead of bokeh, he called it toner, which I thought was quite funny at the time, but I don't think it amused the YouTuber who was being laughed at. He was being a bit silly. So, right, let me just blow my nose. Excuse me. It's still quite cold in here. We're going to get some other... yeah, there we go. Some of the shades of violet in here as well on the side. We don't want total uniformity of the dark violet. And dark violet's just the underpainting. Go sort of violet on this side and down in here. And lovely. So I didn't have... I've only recently bought the shades of the violet. I had previously just the... fix that that splodge that was there. So I bought the shade of magenta and the shade of violet. And so how the pan pastels work, or how every pastel works, is you have the pure color, and so you have your pure color, and then you add white or black to get your black for the shades and the darks, and white to get your tints. And that's how you build up your range. So the you can do that yourself with pan pastel. You can blend them yourself. I mean, they are amazing. They're like paint. They're and that you can blend them on the board, like I'm tending to do now, or on a piece of paper. Let's get a bit of, now we're starting to get there. So it just takes a while to... You just got to be patient with your backgrounds, and build up your layers, and then suddenly it'll start happening for you. It'll just you'll go, oh, okay, that's the colours I was after, or the effect I wanted. Now I'm starting to get that happening here, so I'm quite excited about that. Don't mind me, I'll just have a wee moment while I rejoice that it's working. So I was talking earlier about painting this couple. I'm using doing a lot of work first of all laying in the skin tone with this, and then I'm going to do a green under painting as well on the skin, because the green is a complement to red, and it makes the skin pop and look real. If you just go straight to red, which I've done a number of times, it can look too red. And while I'm trying to do a painting, I'm not trying to do real life here. That I don't like it when it goes um, too far from. If you're not going to do reality, then really drag it away from reality. But if it um, so I don't mind. I paint and I just put down the colours I see. If I see green in someone's skin, I'm going to put it in. I need to clean this soon. This is starting to get a bit clogged. Just put a bit more dark down here. That. And I may do an underpainting. Oh, will I? No, I won't. So the next time I do this flower on the pastel mat, the paper's already a magenta, so that's gonna make life easier. So I've already got that colour tone there, and I can let it shine through. But this sort of I don't mind actually the moonstone. It's got a lot of black flecks in the paper, and they give it a bit of a greyishness. Get the right spots. Yeah, I'm starting to. I can tell. Oops. There's a time when you'll see, as you're painting with pen pastel, if you've put too much on, you really got to be careful that it doesn't go muddy on you. Let's just clean it up a wee bit. Ooh, it's a lot coming off. Yep. Okay, where was I? I was doing that bit. Let's just stay with that. Into that side. That side. Too draggy, David. Gently. I'm okay on this part of the page. Essence of magenta down there. Yeah. But over here, I'm still in a bit of quite there yet. But I need to get this background done because, well, apart from generally needing to do a background, it's going to help me separate the colours better on the petals. That was my plan. That okay, let's do that. Yeah. No, I thought I needed to go darker on the a darker background, but actually it's okay. My little magenta. That's a beautiful colour. Getting a little lost. Just try a tab of. Am I going to regret this? Hey, bring you back a bit now. Use an edge. Right. Okay. I can do that. Because once I start and commit myself, see it. And clean that off. I'm going to use that tint on the edges. Pure in there too. That them to play nice together. All right. I might come back to I'm almost there actually. Part of me goes, oh, time for a break. What is the time? 10:24, and I started at 9:30. So yes, break. Wander off to some cafe with my wife. That would be a good plan. Come back to this background later. And so next time I do a stream, which may be tomorrow, I'll just do a couple of these petals. I'll try them out offline, see if I can get them looking right, and then jump back on a stream just to finish off this painting, because it's pretty much get some energy in there. Kind of my signature sort of marks. How they can tell it David Ketchum painting. Yeah, he just got bored and all he did was throw some marks down. It's not what's going through my mind as I do it. Some of that together. Off. We've got some hot and cold going on there. That. Yeah. Thank you. Right. Soften some of those edges. So crystalline. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you very much for watching. I will be back probably tomorrow to finish it off, and then we'll start the pan pastel one and see what the difference is going to be. Oh, I've still got to do the stalk as well, so looking forward to. I'll probably use a chromium, I think, for that. Yes, but it does have some. Yeah, no, it's also got some ochre in it. So what's going on here? It's just baby wipes. Baby wipes. Terrible for the environment. I am sorry, environment. They're just so great for cleaning pastel out of your fingernails, though. And yeah, so thanks for watching. And I'll be back tomorrow, and let's see what happens. And then we'll start a fresh one and compare the two, because that's the goal. So what's the effect? Because, you know, I'll paint the same way. What's the effect on this versus what's the effect going to be on this? It is a bit smaller, but that's okay. Alrighty, until next time. Bye for now.